The F-35 Lightning II is the most expensive weapons program in human history. The current bill for the design, development and future upgrade of the F-35 stands at over $1.5 trillion and rising. For comparison, that's 60 times more expensive than the entire Apollo space program. The truly astronomical price reflects both the complicated politics of the American military-industrial complex and the cutting-edge engineering of this truly remarkable aircraft. The F-35 is the product of the Joint Strike Fighter program, launched in the early 1990s to find a replacement for NATO's aging jet aircraft. The JSF saw America, Britain, Canada, Italy, the Netherlands, Turkey, Australia, Norway and Denmark work together to develop the ultimate combat aircraft. The F-35 was designed to replace the F-16, the A-10, the F-18, the Harrier and the Tornado, aircraft designed for the Cold War that were rapidly becoming outdated and old. One aircraft to replace 5, the F-35 needed to be truly multi-role. It had to be a fighter, capable of dogfighting against other jet aircraft and drones in the skies. It had to be a strike aircraft, capable of flying deep into enemy territory to engage ground targets. And it had to be a ground attack aircraft, capable of carrying out precision close air support for ground troops. The F-35 also needed to be incredibly stealthy, fast, and equipped with cutting-edge electronic warfare capabilities ready for the digital age. It needed to be adaptable, capable of launching and landing on carriers, as well as performing vertical takeoffs and landings, and, the greatest challenge of all, it was supposed to be affordable. The Joint Strike Fighter program saw 2 engineering heavyweights compete head-to-head for the lucrative contract. Lockheed Martin and Boeing were given $750 million each to develop prototypes, the products being the Lockheed Martin's X-35 and Boeing's X-32. After 5 years of development, testing and competition, the contract was awarded on the 26th of October 2001 to Lockheed Martin's X-35. Post 9/11, the political and tactical landscape changed again, and the need for the new Joint Strike Fighter became more apparent. New Russian and Chinese aircraft proved to be more capable than NATO's latest and greatest, the F-22 Raptor, which was soon becoming obsolete and remained really expensive. The JSF was supposed to be the solution, but the journey wouldn't be simple. From the Chinese government stealing top-secret information about the F-35 and using it to build their own J-20 and FC-31 fighters, to spiralling costs and repeated delays that have led to political interventions in multiple countries, the development of the F-35 has been far from easy. The first major batch of F-35s, finished in 2006, had significant problems. Premature cracking, vulnerable fuel tanks, software issues, unreliable components and more. The second major batch, another 10 years later, finally was able to take part in training exercises in 2016, but was limited in night operations, had communications and software issues and was still short in its weapon carriage capabilities. It wasn't until 2017 that the F-35 was finally declared operationally capable. However, once it was finally up and running, it didn't take long for the F-35 to prove just how remarkable it was. In the Red Flag exercises 2017, F-35s were placed in a realistic training exercise, with radar jamming, surface-to-air missile batteries, cyber and electronic warfare threats, and a whole squadron of aggressive F-16s with one mission: shoot down the F-35s. Nonetheless, it was still able to kill 15 F-16 aircraft for every F-35 lost, a great ratio for a brand new aircraft. In December 2017, the Israeli Air Force, the first customer to use the F-35 operationally, flew 3 F-35s to Tehran, the capital city of Israel's enemy Iran, and back without Iran noticing. Iran's supreme leader fired the Air Force chief and the commander of the military as a result, and the F-35 was fast showing that it was far ahead of its competition. Britain, one of the key supporters of the project, purchased 138 F-35Bs, officially retiring the Harrier and the Tornado to be replaced by the all-encompassing new Joint Strike Fighter. They were declared combat ready in January 2019, with some stationed in Cyprus and others getting ready to be placed on the brand new QE-2 aircraft carrier. They were first used in combat by the RAF fighting against Islamic State targets in Syria and Iraq in the summer of 2019. The F-35 was designed to be one aircraft to rule them all, $1.5 trillion and 3 decades later, it has finally arrived. Specifications. The F-35 comes in 3 variants. The F-35A, which takes off conventionally, the F-35B, which can take off vertically, and the F-35C, which is designed specifically for carriers. The F-35 has a wing-tail configuration with 2 vertical stabilizers, canted to improve stealth. It has a relatively short wingspan and is designed to be unstable, improving its maneuverability in flight. Its relaxed stability and fly-by-wire controls give the aircraft excellent handling. It combines advanced stealth capabilities with searing speed and complex electronic capabilities that make it far more advanced than current anti-air defense systems. Its weapons are mounted internally inside a carriage, eliminating drag and improving its radar signature. The F-35 has a top speed of Mach 1.6, well over 1,200 miles an hour, even with a full payload. Engine. Behind its speed is a Pratt & Whitney F135 turbofan engine that produces more than 40,000 pounds of thrust, over twice the amount of thrust produced by the Harrier and F-16. This engine runs at a temperature of nearly 2,000 degrees Celsius, but its afterburner is designed for stealth. The fuel injectors are covered by thick curved vanes and ceramic radar-absorbent materials, and the outlet nozzle consists of 15 sawtooth flaps that are designed to reduce the infrared signature of the exhaust plume and reduce the radar signature of the vehicle as a whole. The F-35B variant uses a thrust vectoring nozzle to deflect thrust downwards at the tail of the aircraft, enabling it to take off vertically. The F-35 is capable of reaching 50,000 feet in just over 60 seconds and has a combat range of over 1,400 kilometers. Stealth. Through its careful design and aerodynamics and its use of radar-absorbent materials, the radar cross-section of the F-35 is smaller than that of a small bird. From side and rear angles and in favourable conditions, the cross-section is smaller still, described as being no larger than a golf ball. It also has reduced infrared and visual signatures and complex communications and electronic warfare equipment that makes it hard to detect and even harder to fire upon. Their precise stealth capabilities remain, of course, top secret. Sensors. Arguably the most important aspect of the F-35 are its electronic sensors. It uses sensor fusion to combine its electronic radar, electro-optical targeting, aperture targeting and electronic warfare sensors to better improve its accuracy and efficiency in identifying targets from long distances. The F-35 is capable of detecting enemy aircraft beyond the horizon. It also makes use of communications networks with other military installations, such as vehicles, satellites, ships and other aircraft, to build an accurate picture of the battle space. Its electronic warfare systems enable it to track enemy targets, jam radars and disrupt incoming missiles. And all of these sensors and capabilities mean the F-35 software contains more than 8.6 million lines of code. The F-35 is rumoured to be ready for an upgrade that will make it capable of orchestrating attacks by swarms of unarmed combat aerial vehicles, readying it for the electronic warfare of the future. It is in its electronic capabilities that the F-35 is truly cutting edge. Armament. The F-35's 2 internal weapon bays contain 4 weapon stations in total. The outer 2 stations can carry ordnance of up to 2,500 pounds of different mission-specific varieties, such as JDAM missiles, paveway bombs, JSO glide bombs and cluster bombs, as well as smaller GBU bombs, Spear anti-tank missiles and more. The inner 2 weapon stations carry AMRAAM or Sidewinder air-to-air missiles designed for dogfighting. The F-35 also has 6 external weapon stations that can be used, capable of carrying further air-to-air missiles and air-to-surface cruise missiles. The F-35A is armed with a 25mm Gao rotary cannon, not much smaller than the anti-tank cannon used by the infamous A-10. The F-35B and F-35C don't have an internal cannon, but they can use a mounted one if necessary. Future upgrades of the armament include an adapted internal weapons carriage that can deliver a small B-61 thermonuclear bomb, designed to be ready as early as 2024. The F-35 weapons bays are designed to be ready for future technologies not yet fully developed, such as hypersonic missiles and solid-state laser weapons. The most recent F-35s are capable of firing MBDA Meteor missiles that use their own radar to strike targets that are far beyond the horizon, long before the enemy even notices the F-35 is there. Use. The F-35 was first used in combat by the Israeli Air Force in 2018, and they announced that the aircraft had been able to fly all over the Middle East with impunity, not being detected by the military installations of other countries. In July 2018, the US Marine Corps used F-35Bs to strike Taliban targets in Afghanistan, and throughout 2019, F-35s were used by the British and American Air Forces in combat against the Islamic State. The F-35 is now owned by the American, British, Australian, Belgian, Danish, Israeli, Italian, Japanese, Dutch, Norwegian, Polish, South Korean, and Singapore Air Forces. The Turkish Air Force, an early supporter originally due to purchase 120 of the aircraft, was banned from using them due to their cooperation with Russia. All in all, the F-35 and its three variants, although vastly over budget and severely behind schedule, are quickly proving to be highly capable combat aircraft. Not without its problems and drawbacks, the F-35 has been yet another example of the difficult politics of the American military-industrial complex, with its protracted and expensive development hanging as a grey cloud over its engineering prowess. Whether or not the F-35 will be worth the hassle and become the ultimate multi-role joint strike aircraft it was born to be remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, China and Russia are quickly catching up again. And that is the F-35.